The world has shifted, but your spending habits are stuck in 2015. You are still buying things designed for one single purpose: to keep you in a state of chronic financial shortness of breath. We live in an era where liquidity is the only real security, yet you keep trading your most valuable asset, your time, for items that lose half their value before you even break the seal on the box. This isn't just a series of bad investments. This is a tax on your lack of strategy. Today, I'm not here to tell you to save money on lattes. That's advice for losers who think small. We are going to talk about 12 systemic holes in your budget that are draining your chance at true independence in 2026. If you are spending money on even 3 items on this list, you are officially financing your own stagnation. Pay close attention to number 12. It's the one thing most people consider their safest bet, but it's actually the fastest way to bury your capital. I'm Jack Finance. Let's audit your life. Let's start with the biggest sacred cow in the American middle class: home renovations. Most people spend $30,000 on a designer kitchen or a luxury bathroom thinking they are investing in their equity. They tell themselves, "I'll get it all back when I sell." Reality check: you won't. In 2026, the housing market doesn't care about your Italian marble or your smart lighting system. Buyers are looking for 3 things: location, square footage, and energy efficiency. Your personal aesthetic is a liability, not an asset. When you spend $50,000 to upgrade a house you plan to leave in 5 years, you aren't investing. You are subsidizing the next owner's lifestyle with your own hard-earned capital. You lose twice: first, on the immediate depreciation of materials and labor, and second, on the opportunity cost. That $50,000, compounding at 8% in a liquid index fund, would be worth nearly $75,000 by the time you move. Instead, you've locked that money into a wall of drywall and cabinets that the next buyer will probably want to tear down anyway. Unless it's a structural necessity or a massive energy saver, stop upgrading for the next guy. Fix what's broken, keep the rest simple, and keep your capital where it actually grows, in your accounts, not in your floorboards. The second hole in your pocket is the shiny metal box sitting in your driveway, the brand new luxury car. In 2026, a luxury car isn't a status symbol anymore. It's a depreciating piece of consumer electronics on wheels. The moment you drive that $90,000 German SUV off a lot, you haven't just lost 20% in depreciation. You've signed up for the most expensive subscription service in the world. Between the specialized maintenance, the premium insurance premiums, and the rapid tech obsolescence, you are burning capital to impress people at a red light who don't even know your name. Here is the math they don't tell you. A luxury car is a software-driven asset now. Just like your smartphone, the hardware is secondary to the operating system. In 3 years, when the new battery tech or the next AI driving suite drops, your luxury investment becomes a high-maintenance relic. You aren't buying performance, you are paying an ego tax. If you took that same $1,200 monthly lease payment and funneled it into a diversified portfolio, in 10 years you wouldn't just have a car, you'd have the freedom to never work again. Don't let a leather interior and a heated steering wheel lock you into another decade of the grind. Buy a reliable 3-year-old vehicle, let someone else eat the initial depreciation, and use the difference to fund your exit strategy. Number 3 is a social trap disguised as a fairy tale: the $50,000 traditional wedding. In 2026, spending a house deposit on a 6-hour party isn't celebrating your love, it's starting your partnership in a financial hole. The wedding industry has weaponized your emotions to make you believe that the quality of your marriage is measured by the price of the centerpieces. It's a lie. The average American couple spends 2 to 3 years of their combined savings on a single night of catering and open bars. They start their life together stressed, indebted, and anchored to their jobs just to pay off a party for people they barely see twice a year. Think about the sovereign math. That $40,000 or $50,000 invested at the start of a marriage is the foundation of your family's fortress. It's the down payment on a cash-flowing asset, a safety net that buys you the right to say no to a toxic boss, or the capital to start a business together. Instead, most couples trade that lifetime of security for a collection of overpriced photos and a mountain of credit card debt. Love is priceless, but a party has a price tag. In 2026, the real power couple move is a private ceremony and a massive brokerage account. Don't let a one-day performance sabotage a 30-year future. If your friends and family truly care about you, they'll celebrate your freedom, not your extravagance. Number 4 is a classic American obsession that has turned into a financial anchor: buying a home in a dead zone. For decades, we've been told that owning a home is the ultimate safe bet. But in 2026, real estate is no longer a guaranteed ladder to wealth. It's a geographical trap. Millions of Americans are locking themselves into 30-year mortgages in towns with dying industries, shrinking populations, and rising property taxes that provide zero ROI. They call it stability. I call it being immobile. When you buy a house in a stagnant market just because it's affordable, you aren't building equity. You're buying a liability that keeps you from moving where the high-paying opportunities actually are. In the modern economy, your biggest asset isn't a pile of bricks. It's your mobility. The cost of being stuck in a dying zip code is far higher than any mortgage interest rate. It's the cost of the $150,000 job you couldn't take because you couldn't sell your house. It's the cost of the business you couldn't start because your capital is buried in a backyard that nobody wants to buy. Unless that property is in a high-growth hub or generating consistent cash flow, it's not an investment. It's a cage. In 2026, the real wealth move is to stay liquid and stay mobile until you find a market that actually pays you to stay. Number 5 is a psychological tax that tech giants have mastered: selling you the pro version of things you only use as a hobbyist. We live in a world of pro phones, pro laptops, pro cameras, and even pro coffee makers. Marketing departments have convinced you that if you don't buy the top-tier spec, you're settling for less. But here's the cold, hard truth of 2026. If that pro feature isn't directly generating a return on investment, you aren't an owner. You're a donor to the corporation's marketing budget. Think about it. You spend an extra $400 on a smartphone with a cinematic-grade lens, yet 99% of your photos are of your lunch or your dog. You buy a $3,000 MacBook Pro with a chip powerful enough to render a Pixar movie, only to use it for spreadsheets and Netflix. That extra $1,500 you spent on over-speccing your life is dead capital. It's money that's not working for you, but it's definitely working for the shareholders of big tech. In the 2026 economy, the smartest move is functional adequacy. Buy exactly what you need to perform your job at 100% capacity, and not a single gigabyte more. Every dollar you save by ignoring the Pro badge is a dollar you can put into assets that actually grow. A Pro laptop depreciates to zero in 4 years. An index fund doesn't. Stop paying for potential you'll never use and start paying for the freedom you actually want. Number 6 is a multi-billion-dollar illusion designed to make you pay for a miracle that fits in a 2-ounce jar: high-end skincare. In 2026, self-care has been weaponized into a high-subscription lifestyle. We've been brainwashed into thinking that a $250 serum with 40 exotic ingredients and a French name is the only thing standing between us and aging. Reality check. Your skin is an organ, not a luxury sponge. Biohacking and real science have already proven that 95% of these premium products are just overpriced water, stabilizers, and fragrance. You aren't paying for cellular regeneration. You're paying for the heavy glass bottle, the celebrity endorsement, and the feeling of being elite. It's the ultimate placebo tax. While you're layering 7 different products every night, the real drivers of your appearance, sleep, hydration, and metabolic health, are free. But the industry can't sell you sleep in a branded box for $150. If you're spending $300 a month on a routine that delivers 0 measurable results, you're not investing in your skin, You're funding a marketing machine that preys on your insecurity. In the 2026 economy, the smartest move is biomedical minimalism. Get a $15 cleanser, a solid sunscreen, and put the remaining $285 into an asset that actually appreciates. Because trust me, nothing makes you look younger and more refreshed than a bank account that allows you to quit a high-stress job and actually get 8 hours of sleep. Stop buying the hype. Invest in the biology. Number 7 is the fastest-growing scam in the professional world. The high-ticket mastermind, run by people who have never actually built a business. In 2026, we are living through an inflation of expertise. Every influencer with a ring light and a rented Airbnb is selling a $5,000 a year inner circle or a business mastermind. They promise you networking, secret strategies, and a path to 7 figures. But here's the scam. Their only 7-figure business is selling you the course on how to make 7 figures. It's a circular economy of hot air. You aren't paying for mentorship, you're paying for the feeling of being an entrepreneur without actually doing the work. You are subsidizing their lifestyle while they recycle basic advice you could find for free on a 2012 Reddit thread. In the 2026 economy, the only thing that matters is skin in the game. If your mentor doesn't have a verifiable track record of building, scaling, and exiting a real-world company outside of the coaching industry, their advice is a liability. It's theoretical garbage that will cost you more in lost time than the actual tuition fee. Stop buying into the mastermind hype. Real networking happens when you are building something valuable, not when you are paying for a seat at a table of other people who are also just paying to be there. Take that $5,000, put it into your own product, your own marketing, or your own skills. Build something real. The best inner circle you can have is a high-growth brokerage account and a product that people actually want to buy. Number 8 is a relic of the 20th century that is quietly bankrupting the American household: the multi-car fleet. We grew up believing that a successful family needs a driveway full of cars, one for him, one for her, and maybe one for the teenager. But in 2026, keeping a second or third vehicle just in case is a financial suicide mission. Think about the math. Between the monthly payment, the skyrocketing insurance premiums, the registration, and the maintenance, that extra car is costing you an average of $900 to $1,200 a month. And for what? So it can sit in your driveway 22 hours a day? In the era of ubiquitous ride-sharing, specialized delivery, and remote work, you aren't paying for transportation, you are paying for convenience inertia. You're terrified of the one time a month where both of you might need a car at the exact same hour. So, to avoid a $30 Uber ride twice a month, you pay $12,000 a year in fixed costs. That is mathematically insane. In the 2026 economy, the sovereign family move is to downsize to one reliable vehicle and use the $10,000 surplus to fund your freedom. If you need a truck for a weekend project, you rent it. If you both have a meeting, you call a car. Stop letting a pile of depreciating steel and rubber dictate your net worth. Sell the extra car, stop paying the driveway tax, and put that capital into a machine that actually scales: your investments. Number 9 is the digital clutter that's disguised as modern living, the over-engineered smart home gadget. In 2026, we've reached the peak of technological stupidity. We've been sold the dream of a connected home, but what we've actually bought is a collection of high-priced appliances with a shelf life of a smartphone. Ask yourself, why does your refrigerator need a 20-inch touchscreen and a Wi-Fi connection? The moment a $4,000 smart fridge or a $600 Wi-Fi-enabled coffee maker stops receiving software updates, it doesn't just become old, it becomes an unsecure, glitchy brick. You are paying a 40% premium for features that will be obsolete in 24 months. It's the obsolescence tax. While a classic, high-quality mechanical appliance can last you 20 years, these smart versions are designed to fail. You aren't buying efficiency. You're buying a future subscription to a repairman or a replacement model. In the 2026 economy, the sovereign move is analog reliability. Buy the best engineered mechanical tools that do one thing perfectly. If you want a smart kitchen, buy a $50 tablet and stick it on the wall. Don't let your kitchen appliances dictate your upgrade cycle. Keep your home simple, keep your tools mechanical, and keep your capital in assets that don't need a firmware update to keep their value. Number 10 is a massive waste of time disguised as career growth, the high-ticket professional networking event. In 2026, the traditional business conference is dead. It just doesn't know it yet. We've been conditioned to believe that if we pay $2,000 for a gold badge pass to a summit in Vegas, we're investing in our network. Reality check. If you have to pay to get into the room, it's not a room where real power gathers. Most of these conferences are just expensive echo chambers for middle management. You spend 3 days collecting business cards from people who are just as desperate for a lead as you are. You're paying for the vibe of being a high performer, while your actual business or career sits in neutral. It's the procrastination tax. Real networking in the 2026 economy doesn't happen at a buffet table with a name tag on your chest. It happens in private, high-signal digital communities, on collaborative projects, or through direct, valuable results. If you want to meet the giants in your industry, don't buy a ticket to watch them speak from a stage 50 feet away. Build something they can't ignore. Take that $3,000 you'd spend on airfare, hotels, and a pass, and use it to fund a pilot project or hire a specialist to solve a bottleneck in your business. The best networking tool is a track record of excellence. Stop being a professional attendee and start being a professional producer. Let the crowd stay in the conference hall. You stay in the market where the real money is made. Number 11 is a sensitive one, but it's draining the American family dry: the overscheduled child. In 2026, parental guilt has been monetized into a $30 billion a year industry. We've been led to believe that if our kids aren't in travel soccer, elite gymnastics, Mandarin lessons, and coding camp all in the same week, they'll fall behind. But here's the cold truth. You aren't investing in your child's future. You're buying a high-priced babysitting service and calling it enrichment. Most of these elite youth programs cost $5,000 to $10,000 a year per child. For what? A 0.01% chance at a college scholarship that usually covers less than the total cost of the sports themselves? It's a distraction tax. While you're burning $20,000 a year on fees and driving 4 hours every weekend to tournaments, you are sacrificing the very thing that would actually secure your child's future: family capital. Imagine if you took half of that extracurricular budget and put it into a dedicated investment account for that child starting at age 5. By the time they hit 21, they wouldn't just have a participation trophy, they'd have a house deposit or the capital to start their own company. Real enrichment happens through boredom, creativity, and spending time with parents who aren't stressed out by a $1,000 a month schedule. Stop overscheduling their childhood and start funding their freedom. Give them one thing they love and invest the rest in their actual future. And finally, number 12, the biggest financial lie ever sold to the American public: the 401k obsession. For decades, the system has groomed you to believe that the ultimate goal of life is to work 40 hours a week for 40 years, faithfully dumping 15% of your paycheck into a locked box that you can't touch until you're 65. They call it retirement planning. I call it a deferment of life tax. Think about the math of 2026. You are trading your most vibrant, high-energy years, your 20s, 30s, and 40s, for the hope that at 67, you'll have enough health left to finally enjoy your money. You are locking your capital in a cage where you have zero control, limited options, and a massive tax bill waiting for you at the finish line. This is the mediocrity trap. The system wants you to be a predictable, tax-paying cog until you're too old to be a threat to the status quo. In 2026, the real power move isn't waiting for a gold watch at 65. It's building intermediate assets, cash-flowing businesses, liquid portfolios, and skills that allow you to retire now, or at least work on your own terms. Why are you maxing out a retirement account for a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet, while the current version of you is drowning in stress and lack of options? Stop funding a future you might never see at the expense of a life you're missing right now. Keep enough for a safety net, but use your surplus to buy your freedom today. Because in 2026, the only thing more expensive than a bad investment is a wasted youth. Invest in your exit strategy, not just your old age. Listen, the goal of this list isn't to tell you how to spend every dollar. It's to show you exactly where the system is leaking your potential. In 2026, you can either be a consumer who funds the dreams of corporations or a strategist who funds their own freedom. You can have a driveway full of depreciating steel, a kitchen full of pro gadgets, and a 401k you'll see in 30 years. Or you can have options. Real wealth isn't about what you own. It's about what you don't have to do. It's the ability to walk away from a bad deal, a bad boss, or a bad city because your capital is liquid and your mind is sovereign. Take a hard look at your bank statement this month. Identify the leaks, plug them, and put that money into something that actually scales. Stop buying the script. Start building the fortress. I'm Jack Finance. I'll see you in the next one.